Good morning, Ratman. I'm your host, Che, a respectful appreciator of women. Joining us is a special guest that no one knows, Mon, a disrespectful appreciator of women. And also, here is my co-host, Corgi, a woman.
Can we just also note that I'm a woman so I don't sound like I'm just a man who hates women?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Women can hate women too.
Yeah,
Have
but
you ever
I
been to a ballet class?
I
How
famously
vicious.
don't.
I've heard you play League.
Oh yeah, and we've also heard you play Mario Kart and Mario Party, and God, you can get grumpy.
Okay, so we're cutting this out, right?
Nope.
If you want it to be cut out. Otherwise, it's funny enough to stay in. Today's episode is brought to you by Rats, as always, and also Hype. Do that. Maybe, I don't know. Fucking, I'm not your dad.
You're
Sorry we missed a week. What?
You're not.
Yep. Sorry we missed a week. Mon, get used to Corgi making a joke and then me just going, all right, and then moving on.
Okay.
Happens all the fucking
Yeah, it's
time.
really discouraging.
Sometimes it's like, I have to keep this on track. I can't respond to this. We're already we're trying to keep it at an hour-long video and we're 2 hours into the recording and it's just like, I can't.
Okay.
We have to keep going.
Yeah, sometimes it's because I bring up Star Wars or ask them a question about Star Wars, and then oof.
She asked me about Star Wars last episode and then we went 5 minutes off topic.
5
10
minutes.
minutes off topic.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry we missed a week. I lost a weekend to my wife's birthday. Mon was there. It was unavoidable. Probably could have recorded midweek, but then the release day would still be late, and so I took the week to reset the release day, which makes my production time easier because I work less on the weekends to get episodes made. I will still work a lot on the weekends. Woo! But that was me just being late. So, this was supposed to be an episode about the Sisters of Battle, but we can't talk about the Sisters of Battle without talking about the very creepy Goj Vandir. If you want to get fun with it, Goge Vandir.
Nope.
You ever just mispronounce names? It's fun. Highly recommend. Now, Mon, I'm sure you'll remember this. At some point between the Horus Heresy and now, we have the Age of Apostasy, specifically in the 36,000s or not.
Yeah, totally know what that is.
Yep. So, the 10th edition codex says the 37th millennium. The 2nd edition says the 36th millennium. Is this a retcon? Is this a typo? Who's to say? Realistically, it's probably a typo that if they ever address, they'll go, yo, Autochronos be changing dates and shit. Who the fuck knows when any of these events took place? I don't know if I've talked about this, Corgi, but canonically in 40k, which is actually currently 41k, possibly even 42k, no one actually knows what the date is. They are completely winging it, and they are basing it off Terra, which is Earth, by the way, Mon.
Oh, so pretty much just like our everyday lives where we just wing the date.
Yeah, but we actually know what the date is and the year it is and all of that. Whereas in Warhammer, they're
Mon,
possibly
quick, what's
off
the
by
day?
thousands of years.
Mon, what's today's date without looking at your calendar?
Fuck, the 7th.
See?
Well, you're off by 8 days. But Mon, what's the year?
2026.
Yeah.
Hey!
The point is, in Warhammer, they're like, it's 41,000. But then it actually might just be 40,000 or 42,000 or 43,000. They don't know. They're fucking winging it.
Sick.
They're basing it off Terra, but don't know for sure. And sometimes dates just change outside of lore for one reason or another, and the change is canon, as we actually don't know when it happened. It has a name. It's called the Chronos Strife, aka continuity is hard, so we wrote a backdoor. Though, according to the head narrative of GW, it's still 41k, and the whole discrepancy between dates is a plot point. Is any of this relevant? No, not really. And it took writing and research time that could have been spent doing something important rather than reading old Twitter threads.
Yeah,
So,
that's your job, isn't it?
Hmm?
Reading old Twitter threads for information that you refuse to go to that. What was it called again? The Warhammer Wiki? Because the Warhammer Wiki is just wrong.
Warhammer Wiki is usually wrong. Lexiconum isn't wrong, but it is wrong. It comes up twice in this script.
Oh.
Lexiconum is explicitly wrong.
Sweet. Gift of prediction again.
Yeah. So it was at this point I put down the 10th edition codex and started reading the 2nd edition codex. The 2nd edition codex is older than both of you.
The
It
fuck?
came out It came out in 1997, the year after I was born.
Sweet, a boomer book.
Yeah. Jesus. A lot of people are going to be unhappy about that.
Oh, what about it being called a boomer book?
Yeah, because it was made in 97.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, but...
It's a 28-year-old book. It's not a fucking boomer book.
Sorry, but we're 2000s girlies.
Yeah.
We are still
So-
little babies.
Yeah, Mon's fucking post 9/11 didn't know what it was until I had to explain it to her. The 10th edition codex had 1 page on the Age of Apostasy versus 8 on the 2nd edition codex. So I went with the more work for me version.
Class.
Yeah, it'll definitely be much creepier as well. Because Ghost Van Dyke is a creepy dude. Weird creepy dude.
I mean, that just comes with the territory. Like, there is always going to be at least 10 weird guys to 1 cool guy's project. It's just the ratio.
I feel like that ratio is a lot more off in Warhammer. It's like 1 normal guy for like 70 million weird dudes.
Oh, I meant like the creators. I didn't mean the fan base.
No.
No offense.
I mean, Ghost Van Dyke is not a real dude.
He's not? Then why are you talking about him? I want realism.
Because he comes up a lot. This whole thing is, things are bad. Then Ghost Van Dyke came in, and things got so much worse.
That's promising.
Yeah. Warhammer Mon can be summed up as everyone sucks and everything is bad all of the time. And everyone who makes a decision makes consistently the wrong decision. The setting. Like,
This is not a social commentary, I swear. With
Yeah.
a little... What do you call them? Little parentheses in the bottom being like, seriously?
oh, if I read like 3 more lines into the script, I told you this.
You don't rehearse your own scripts, man?
Yeah. I remember saying that. I just thought it was like at the end of the video. But no, it's at the beginning. So, are both of you ready to learn about internal political fights over power between church and state kids?
Yay!
Can I go back to my cleaning library game?
No. So, post Horus Heresy, the Ecclesiarchy and the Imperial Truth,
I'm sorry, what the fuck is an ecclesiarchy?
the church.
Oh.
I mean, Ecclesiarchy isn't a real word in the real world, as evidenced by the constant red lines under my script every single time I type Ecclesiarchy. But ecclesiastical and ecclesiarch are both real words. So post-Horus Heresy, the Ecclesiarchy, and the Imperial Truth, that being the Emperor is a god religion thing. For context, Mon, the Emperor is a dead guy. The religion Emperor is a god, also humans are destined to rule everything, etc., lose a shit. That's why they're constantly just killing aliens instead of, like, being friends. Yeah, this was the basic plot is if everyone made the wrong decision every time, all of the time, and then someone will go, man, this shit sucks, we should fix it, and then someone else will go, that sounds like heresy, and then kill him. And every now and then, the person that says, man, this shit sucks, is too powerful to be killed and in a position to change, but is also just looking at everything on fire all of the time going, fuck! And then sometimes these people work together, and sometimes they work together and just don't do what the other says. Such as Gilliman giving Cole a bunch of Trader Gene seed and saying, Cole, don't use this. And Cole went, sure, in a real, gotcha, don't use the gene seed, wink, kind of way. Don't use it. Yeah, in the same way I won't make AI, wink. Are you making AI? No. That kind of way, you know?
Where the fuck did AI fit into this? I'm lost. Where's my Genshin translation?
AI is forbidden in Warhammer. It is called abominable intelligence.
I mean,
it's a big no-no to make. Yeah, there was a war about it, and it's now completely forbidden. There's a guy who might be making AI.
I'm sorry, but Che, have you introduced the faction concepts to her, or are you just raw dogging this?
I'm raw dogging it completely.
I don't fucking know what the hell's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm stepping in.
Yeah,
because
No, I thought it'd be so much funnier this way.
I'm,
Like, literally just going completely in blind.
I'm violently confused.
The tech priests are basically Mormons, but they're like okay with a level of.
No, we'll get there when we get there. She doesn't need to learn about the AdMech yet. The AdMech will come up and she'll learn.
Christ.
Help.
They show up a lot. She'll learn when we get there.
You're like a dad that your child needs to go out into the world, needs to like learn how to survive, and you're like, no, she's going to the fucking coal mines and she's gonna get coal lung like the rest of us.
No, you know what this is?
then
This
she
is
can
like
go to
that
school.
one type of dad that sends their child into the woods for 6 months and says, if you come back
Yeah.
alive, I taught you well.
Yeah.
Actually,
That was
that's
literally
Except
what I
I
was
didn't
about to
get
say.
taught shit, so I don't actually know what I'm doing, and now I'm crying, trying to make fire out of sticks.
Yeah. The best way to raise a kid is you send them out into the woods, and if they come back, you have a stronger child. And if they don't, problem solved.
Okay.
So, the ecclesiarch, right, the space pope, believed that as the head of the imperial cult.
There's always cults.
So sometimes I write poorly, and then we pause for a minute, and it's not because like I'm pausing for effect. It's because I'm trying to figure out what I wrote. It's believed that as the head of the imperial cult, the ecclesiarch was therefore the mouth of the emperor, and all the high lords of terror, the government, would just follow what he said, therefore giving him functionally unrestricted power to control the Imperium.
Which never goes wrong, ever.
Yeah, this was pre
Don't
Age
say
of Apostasy,
9/11.
right? No. So this was leading up to the Age of Apostasy, post Horus Heresy, leading up to the Age of Apostasy. This changes post Age of Apostasy. So this pissed off quite a handful of people. The chapter masters of the Space Marines, super soldiers, who quite possibly remember the whole the Emperor's not a god thing. You know, he had this whole, like, he was the atheist supreme. And he was just like, I am not a god. If you do anything, please remember, I am not a god. Remember when I burned my son's favorite city and killed everyone inside because he said I was a god? I'm not a god.
He is the Messiah.
Yeah. He's also 10 feet tall,
Green.
glowing gold, and kind of on fire all the time.
And has a fancy
And also
hat.
one of the most powerful psychics in the world, universe, and immortal.
And also
he's-
somewhat a god, except not a god, but also god-like enough that...
Yeah.
I-
He's functionally a demigod, but it's more complicated than that.
What the hell? Sure.
So the people just kind of assuming that he is a god, it's
It's that thing of...
a
to
reasonable
someone not-
assumption to make.
Yeah, it's the level of where science so advanced it looks like magic.
Yeah, except it's not science, it's magic. It's magic so magic it looks like magic. But like,
When I'm reading a fucking magic comic.
don't worry, next up, this is your primer. Next episode, we'll just be talking about women.
God bless.
Next episode. This is a two-part?
So, now, the fabricated general of the Adeptus Mechanicus,
Oh my god.
not too
Adeptus, sorry.
Yeah, no, not those Adepti.
is this a Genshin thing?
Yes. Adepti are basically demigods to to Archons.
So
So
this
yeah,
is
remember the Archon
okay.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a
the-
Genshin thing that I have too much respect for my own money to get.
I still miss that game.
Yeah, I don't.
You never played it, that's why you don't.
Yeah, but you're constantly like, I have no money because I spent it on Genshin.
No, that was me. Like, I haven't played it in 2 years, I think. I miss it.
Don't. Anyway, the Adeptus Mechanicus not felt fond of the whole Emperor as a god thing, ecclesiarchy controlling everything as well. Being that they are an entirely separate religion and probably saw the writing on the wall of the ecclesiarchy controlling everything and being like, our religion's the only way. This might not bode well for the people who have a completely separate religion. And because both the machine men of Mars that run all the machines and the Emperor's angels weren't too happy about,
The same Mars that has a dragon in it?
yes,
Oh, yeah, thought so.
which is the dragon of St. George. The Emperor is St. George and he fought the dragon and
Not
then
St. George of
he
Wales.
locked it on. Yes, same St. George.
Oh,
The
shit.
So the dragon on the flag of Wales is the same dragon that's on Mars that is also a Necron.
Necrons are basically zombies.
Then what if the Egyptians were skeleton men from space?
Skeleton necromancers.
Yes. And all robots, because they got tricked by a star.
We've all been there. We've all just been like, hey, Star, what's up with you? Hey, do you want some powers? That sounds nice. What's the catch?
Technically, they're extra-dimensional gods that consume stars, but don't actually have a physical form and aren't really intelligent. And then the Necrons went, what if we gave these things a physical form? And then they became intelligent. And then they went, we're going to ruin your life. And then they did.
You ever fuck up so bad you accidentally turn an idiot into a genius?
Yeah, remember how I said the setting is just people making the wrong decisions all of the time?
Yeah, I can see that now.
There were multiple things that went wrong with what the Necrons did. 1, give the Star Gods a form. 2, listen to the Star Gods. Now they turn by the way, then they cut up the Star Gods into tiny pieces and they use them as Pokeballs.
I thought you were going to say they snorted them.
No.
This is like reminding me of League of Legends lore, not gonna lie.
Because of how
Because that-
confusing and arbitrary it is?
That, but also there's this one thing that was it was lore of Piltover before they made Arcane, which is there were a bunch of these species of like, I don't know, creatures or something that just existed and lived, but then Piltover smart people found them, decided to basically massacre the entire species except for one, and then use their crystal from their bodies to make hex tech. And one of the characters in League called Seraphine, she's from Zorn but lives in Piltover, and she has a little mini stage that she stands on that's made out of like the Hextech crystals of dead bodies, and when she sings or like just exists, she just hears the dead screams and cries of the species that have been turned
We'll
into
get to that.
crystals for Hextech.
That'll come up later.
What do you mean that'll come up later?
Endless
How
screams
is that-
of the dead?
How is that actually relevant?
Trust me, Mon, you get used to it.
Some bad things happen to some not great people.
What the fuck is Warhammer even about, man?
A bunch of not great things happening to a lot of people.
Yeah, everyone making the wrong decisions all the time. That's what it's about.
Keep up.
My fault.
So, because both the Machine Men of Mars that run all the machines and the Emperor's Angels weren't too happy about the way things were going, the Administratum, the billions of bureaucrats in charge of making sure everything doesn't work, decided, fuck it, we ball, and started challenging the power of the ecclesiarchy. Not like in battle or anything, but with the one thing they were good at, bureaucracy. This battle, still ongoing by the way, but for the importance is by the 35th millennium, the ecclesiarchy had lost most of their control after multiple ecclesiarchs, aka space popes, had been elected after the Administratum used their pull to sway the High Lord's votes and putting its own loyalists into power. Thrilling. This is going to be real boring for a while, I'm not going to lie. It's fascinating for me, but both of you, it's going to be real boring for a while.
Yeah, I'm already writing out
it'll get interesting.
Quantum mechanic equations.
It'll get fun eventually. So,
Tagline of the show.
yeah, Ecclesiarch Benedin IV, a name no one will fact check me on, moved the synod, that being runs the ecclesiarchy under the space pope, to the planet Ophelia 7, the possibly third richest planet, in the hopes that this will prevent the High Lords from exercising control over them and recovering some of their power. This worked. So they increased their tithes to a bullshit level, rapidly gaining resources. You can see where all of this is about to go wrong horribly.
We can.
Yes. What do you think might happen if they increase their tithes to a bullshit level?
Ties with what?
Everything.
What?
Tithes.
Usually mostly just money, but in
Tithes
Warhammer
means
sometimes the
gifts.
tithes are like
Wait, what do you
People-
mean increase their ties?
No,
tithes.
tithes.
Tithe.
Okay, that's even
S.
more confusing. What the hell is that?
No,
word?
Mon,
So,
when you give money to
in-
the church, it's a tithe.
Yes.
It's like a
So-
donation that you're not getting back.
Not
It's sort of a
exactly.
reputation thing.
So yeah, as a member of a church, you are expected to pay a tithe. You don't have to, but you're strongly implied that you should. It is usually a percentage. Depends on the church, depends on the thing. Some places it's 2% of your weekly income you should be paying to the church every week. Sometimes it's 10%. Different churches, different religions have different tithes. Some don't have tithes, but like would request a donation, like Buddhist temples and shit like that, because it's not a constant you go in thing. It's just a, hey, when you're here, could you please give us money? Rather than church, which is every Sunday, hey, please pay your tithe. You know how in media churches they pass around the plate?
Oh, I've seen that happen before, yeah.
Yes. That's a tithe. So that's your, hey, please put the money that goes into the church. This is your tithe. So because the ecclesiarchy is in most control and they are a religious state, everyone in the emperor is a religious state, the tithe is non-optional. So hey, this is what you have to pay. It's not necessarily people. It's not necessarily money. It can be resources. It can be people. It's
basically a guilt donation, like a guilt tax. You don't have to do it, but you're kind of a dick if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by people, it's like straight up slavery or bodies, because they can't make computers, because AI is illegal. They make computers out of people. Make sense, Mon? Any further questions that we can answer while Corgi's troubleshooting?
Point where I'm just really confused, but I don't know if any amount of me asking questions is gonna solve that. So I'm just here.
I mean, you can ask a few questions if you want, because we're literally just filling time.
I don't know.
Really not even why they're using people's skulls. Like, why use people instead of artificial intelligence?
I mean, it makes sense if artificial intelligence is banned, just turn the people into artificial intelligence.
Yeah. So that being the ecclesiarchy, started purging alleged heretics, mind you, aka people who opposed the all-powerful church and believed in maybe slightly less power to the church, and building a lot of temples and cathedrals. Ignore the mass graves. We got cool churches.
Those aren't mass graves. Those are fancy foundation.
Yeah. So at this point, we run into a whose boat is that boat, Corgi, whose boat is that boat.
Absolutely, so, throw yourself out the window.
Yeah, so Mon, this is a game we play every week where I send Corgi a picture of a boat and she has to guess who owns the boat.
And I hate it.
The fuck?
Whose boat is that boat, Corgi?
Oh, I'm so sorry to tell you, but I'm pretty sure it's a missionary ship because I saw the notification.
Oh, yeah. But whose boat is it? That's the name of the ship. Whose boat is it?
Cole's?
No.
That's a boat?
Yeah.
How did that go into the damn ocean?
For the record, Mon, one of the times the pictures of the boat was a spider. So, you know.
I'm really glad I wasn't here for that one, to be honest.
Sometimes the boat's not a boat.
Then what?
Sometimes the boat's whatever the fuck I feel like.
That's...
Yeah, I'm just a puppet in his play, man.
One time I sent Corgi the same boat 3 times. She got it wrong all 3 times.
That's just fucked up.
Tell me about it. I have to pay attention. It's hard.
For the record, I told her the answer the first time and she didn't listen.
I barely ever listen.
I mean,
you know
who
why?
expects the same boat to come back 3 times in a row?
Yeah, it's also a segment I do once per episode. I did it 3 times one episode.
Shout out to those keeping score at home. Please stop encouraging him.
It's one guy, by the way. It's one guy who's keeping score.
Yeah, we love him bits.
So whose boat is it, Corgi?
Well, if it's not Cole's, then Gilliman?
No, neither of these people are around in the Age of Apostasy. Well, Cole is, but he's like off in the background, not existing within the setting yet. And Gilliman's dead.
Everyone's dead, man.
Yeah, everyone's dead, Dave. So
everybody's dead, Dave.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is a boat they used, but being the ecclesiarchy, it's an ecclesiarchal boat, but it is a missionary ship they would eventually use. I would imagine they mostly used actual battleships.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes,
Does
that's
Corgi
why you're
actually
here.
know what Warhammer is, or is this just you explaining it to 2 people?
That's sort of the point of the podcast. We've been doing this for like a year, getting close on 2 years now, minus like a 5-month gap. So like a year and a half. So she does know a lot more than you do, but this started with her not knowing anything, and she has learned a lot over the years.
Yeah. I've got my certificate and I'm moving on to my master's. It's gonna take a while.
I'm sitting in at a friend's uni class and I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Remember things better. Anyway.
Remember these nuts in your face.
Oh, get burned.
Don't worry, guys. That'll be later in the script.
What?
Yeah, I'll wash them.
So, this army and navy, known as the Fraterus Templars, got big. Not that big, but big enough to be a problem. Dozens of army, each the size of an Imperial Guard regiment, which is big, but also a useless number, because that number is not that consistent. I was like, how big is an Imperial Guard regiment? And it was like somewhere between the numbers of 10,000 and 500,000. Those are two very different numbers.
No, not really. It's just a lot.
Yeah. So, 300 years after they moved to Ophelia 7, Gregor the 11th became ecclesiarch with the hopes that he would refresh the ecclesiarchy, which he did by moving them back to Terra, a move a lot of people hated. This move took 13 years, burned a fuck ton of resources, and increased tithes again, in part because they just ignored all their shit on Terra. As an aside, they refer to Terra in this book as Earth. Genuinely, might be the first time I've seen Warhammer thing directly call it Earth. Darktide Beta did, but it was removed by launch.
Because they're cowards.
Yeah. Like, I guess I've seen it reading old stuff and I never really registered it. But it's very rare that they refer to Terra as Earth these days. And they use it constantly interchangeably in this codex. Gregor then had more radical plans to change the Ministerium. Plans that were not popular. But he ignored all requests as he put in the groundwork for these changes. Big things were coming. And then he died. Food poisoning. It'll get you. Everyone was sad. They had a burial. Then they chucked his body in the mausoleum and elected a new guy. A guy who wanted to do none of that. The tithes were increased. Yet again, many planets at this point just went fuck off and refused to pay. Planetary governors started speaking out about how they should really just fucking chill with the tithes. So, the ecclesiarchy listened to these people and set about instituting the required changes. Was a planet stretched to ruin to pay their tithes, so they simply stopped? Understandable. Here's an army to kill them all. Is an official calling it the increase in tithes bullshit? Here's a fire for the heretic who challenged the ministerium.
They're just
Is
so
there a
generous.
governor who starts building...
They're so generous, giving all of these free things to people.
Yeah, so nice. Is there a governor who starts building planetary defenses with the tithe money? Assassins! It's worth noting, there's a whole school of assassins, and some of them are fucked. Like the crazy junkie that just goes into a place and kills everyone.
Nah, I prefer our school of assassins. Little sneaky guys that are so terrifying that no one fucks with them because no one knows where the fuck they went. They just show up sometimes and like, kill, 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 kill.
They got their money and used it on building even larger temples and covering their palaces in the rarest of metals and gems. You know, the important stuff. And this continued for a while. The Imperium was falling apart at the seams somewhat faster than usual. Then the warp storms came.
Courtesy of our boys or unrelated?
Yeah, unrelated. So, Mon, for context, imagine a storm, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's in space, and it's also part of hell.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine hell, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes rain comes, but it's hell. It's literally hell on earth, or hell from the other the dimension of hell just goes, surprise, we're here now. And then you just have to sit with that for a little bit.
It's like if instead of rain, you had demons fall from the sky and suddenly you are feeling a lot more manic, suicidal, and a whole bunch of other things that I'm pretty sure we're going to have to censor because YouTube hates the frickin' S word.
Yeah, probably not. I don't give a fuck. So it became next to impossible to travel safely to systems of any real distance. So they were stuck to nearby systems. Part of the reason that is because they travel through the warp so they have to travel through hell to travel through space.
The hell dimension.
But also, yeah, the hell dimension to travel through space. But at the same time, they like hell is now in the real world, so they're just sort of like, but it makes traveling through the hell. Imagine the hell dimension is also a sea. Now the sea is incredibly turbulent and there is a storm, but when you're not in the Hell Dimension, there's already a storm. But, it just makes it fucking incredibly difficult to travel anywhere through space. Not mentioned in the text is when a warp storm engulfs a planet, bad things happen, whether it be a demon invasion, weird reality-breaking shit, or horrors beyond mortal comprehension that exist outside of that. There's a book, Mon, I don't like how it ends, it's kind of lame, called Watches in the Rain.
Oh,
the warp storm.
I like that concept.
Hmm?
I liked that concept. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, but the ending's bad. The book is good until the ending.
Wait, what was the ending again? Wasn't it just and then they got killed by a different bad guy?
She starved a bunch of people, and then she got away with it, and then she got picked up by some people that she starved, and they were going to eat her, and that was the ending.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a warp storm, right? Engulfs a planet. All it does is makes it rain all of the time. Always raining for months on end. But there is a thing in the rain, and you can't see it. But you know it's there. There is something in the rain.
Oh, hell no.
And if you finally look at it, it shows you guilt.
It's basically Ghost Rider if Ghost Rider actually was fucking useful. Sorry, if Ghost Rider's riders actually let him...
Yeah, but it also, enjoys the torment of people. It's not like a... Like, Ghost Rider is the spirit of vengeance. He's a good guy who's avenging against evil. This is just like an evil entity that's like, guilt!
I feel guilty.
Yeah. So, you ever read Nightfall? It's just Nightfall. Everything falls apart because the sky goes dark. If you haven't read Nightfall, read Nightfall. It's like 30 pages. It's really good. Yeah, I probably talked about it before. I think we have talked about it before because I think I brought up that Pitch Black is very, very loosely inspired by Nightfall. So, everyone, everywhere was
all
fucked.
At once?
Neither the Administratum nor the Ecclesiarchy were helping because they were spending all their resources fighting each other for power. Not literally, but also probably literally. The system of order that barely functioned at the best of the times was in fact not functioning, and anarchy reigned. And if you were lucky enough to be reachable, congratulations! The Ecclesiarchy is wrecking your shit and killing your people for challenging their rule because you dared to say that there was something in the rain and it kept showing me guilt.
I see something in the rain and it keeps showing me really weird videos of this guy just farting a bunch. I don't know what that's about. Kill them.
Yeah. I feel like you're referencing something, but I don't get it.
I don't remember it.
Okay. Does that make you feel guilty?
I don't feel guilt, I just feel depression.
Have you tried looking in the rain? There's a lot of that at the moment.
Oh,
Fucking stop raining in Brisbane. It's annoying.
Oh, what's the matter? You don't like the rain constantly suddenly appearing and then disappearing for several hours until suddenly just, ha! Rain.
I had to do a thing for work and I called ahead. I'm like, is this cancelled because of the rain? And they went, it's not going to rain today. Weather forecast says it's not going to rain. And then we got there, and the moment we got there, it started raining. And I'm like, fuck this.
You said it was fine.
Yeah.
We laughed.
So, chaos. They're the evil things in the warp. On chaos, the forces of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Demons, but
they saw this and went preem and left the Eye of Terror, which is a big door into the warp, to just start causing terror in the eye of everyone.
Oh.
Yeah, orcs were doing orc shit, raining everywhere because they immune to the horrors beyond mortal comprehension because they don't get it. As an aside, I was writing that and I was like, wait, how do orcs travel to the warp? Because
Balls.
I think they travel through the warp, but they don't have a Geller field to protect them. And the answer is kind of they just do.
It's probably
they cover their
same
ship and
reason.
stuff,
Yeah.
and it just flies through without them. And their war field might help, maybe. And if the demons do show up, they just crump them. It might be a Tyranid sort of deal where the warp just goes, fuck this, and leaves them alone.
You were totally just name dropping to confuse Mon even more.
No, when I was writing that, it was more me explaining stuff to you and the audience rather than Mon. But yes, I am realizing, as I said, that's what is it? What's the meme? Breaking news. Grambleson scrunted jungles at a meetup or something like that. And it's
What?
the whole. There's the whole point. It's just a bunch of nonsense words, and it's used for when someone's talking about like YouTuber beef, and it's just the dumbest fucking names. And be like, oh my god, did you see what Scrunt said about Brambleson? It's like, these aren't people. What the fuck are you talking about? So, Gene Stealer cults showed up and took a lot of planets, which timeline-wise, little wonky, cutting it close to continuity issues, but it checks out. Chaos cults?
Cults?
Jesus. Chaos cults.
Sorry.
I need water. Chaos cults also showed up in a lot of places as well. And even the Imperial cult fractured as isolated worlds fell into holy wars to assert their own specific brand of emperor worship over the others. Eventually, someone suggested maybe the ecclesiarchy was wrong, and this was the emperor punishing them. And everyone had a totally chill reaction. There was no self-mutilation to prove their faith.
Oh, I'm glad about that. I was worried for a second.
Yeah. Enter Goj Vandire.
Doge?
The 306 Goj.
Thank God.
G-O-G-E.
Thank God, because I was very worried.
The 361st High Lord of the Administratum and future architect of a little era known as the Reign of Blood.
Oh, rain as in R-E-I-G-N, not rain as in, oh look, it's raining blood on my face.
Yes. So this motherfucker hated the ecclesiarchy. Valid. Possibly got his position by killing and blackmailing his way up. Same.
Icon.
Here's a quote.
Wait, what?
Shortly before his ascendance to the vaulted ranks of High Lord, Vandire was instrumental in the election of Ecclesiarch Paulus III, a degenerate incompetent who was easily controlled by Vandire and his followers. So now, he was the High Lord of the Administratum. He had a cunning plan. Also take over the Ecclesiarchy. And while most High Lords subtly and quietly exercised control over the Ecclesiarchy, Vandire decided, fuck that, got a bunch of guard officers, walked over to the ecclesiarchal palace, and just did a coup, overthrowing the puppet he put in power and just fucking had him shot, and declared himself the leader of the rubbish heap.
Good for him.
Yeah. Everyone who opposed him either fled to Ophelia or were killed by Vandire, and all those that fled to Ophelia got eaten by the warp storm and disappeared.
I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, which of course, will of the Emperor, clearly. Bro clearly has the mandate of heaven. He subsequently stacked the synod with absolute morons or cruel geniuses, the type of guys who won't challenge any call he makes. Enter the Reign of Blood. Here's a quote. Vandire was insane. A paranoid megalomaniac, same, who saw plots and intrigue everywhere, same. His mind twisted in every way, and he delighted in torturing his victims, declaring he was purifying their souls for the Emperor.
Don't. Don't do it.
Should we be worried that you're saying same to some guy that is evil?
That's the joke.
Oh, my fault.
Comedy show.
Look, I don't know what's happening.
I never do. That's why I draw pretty pictures.
Yeah, you could have drawn pictures.
That's true. How long's left in this group?
So, a while, because we had a brief detour. It'll speed through. Now that we're not spending a lot of time trying to explain concepts to Mon.
I hope so, because it's near my bedtime, mate.
Yeah. Every word he spoke was to be recorded by the scribes that followed him around for that purpose, and also to record all his torture techniques. Because he was a chill guy like that. Guy was like crazy. Violent mood swings, and would enter a trance where he would just get into mumbling arguments with himself and occasionally just yell out for no reason.
Same.
Which must have made the scribe's job real fun. Did he say cheese or did he say she's? Who's to say?
No. Did he say we will fight them on the beaches, or did he say, God damn, I love these peaches?
Yeah. He claimed these were moments where he was communicating with the Emperor, and the moment they ended, extreme violence would follow. Little known fact about the Buddha, same. He would meditate on the thoughts of existence and then immediately follow it up with shanking a dude. You know, balance in all things.
Hey, Gautama can do what he wants.
What?
Buddha?
Yeah?
Yeah. Gautama was his human anyway.
Okay. This also led to the fact that he constantly monitored the warp storm activity, and the moment a planet became reachable, instead of sending diplomats or aid, he would send war fleets to take control by force. Quote, The Reign of Blood affected the whole Imperium. Sycophantic army and navy officers were only too ready to execute Van Dyer's orders, virus bombing the hive world of Clana Savin without reason, invading the farmlands of Born's Minor, and enslaving every female child under the age of 12, using the orbital batteries on Jana to melt the planet's ice caps, drowning nearly 4 billion in the resultant floods. And all these recorded by his scribes. I love writing a long, never-ending list of my crimes recorded in real time. Early on in the Reign of Blood, Van Dyer learned about a cult. This was bad. That couldn't stand. Mon, you'll like this part. On the agri-world of San Lior, they called themselves the Daughters of the Emperor, and they were an all-female cult dedicated to worshipping the Emperor through inner purity, and use that inner purity to study the art of war.
They were all lesbians.
Amen.
Not quite, but that'll be in the next episode.
They were all lesbians.
That is precisely the reason why Mono's guest starring in this episode. We promised
Yes.
lesbians.
Yeah. Can you guess
It only
who
took
these
me an
people
hour
will
to
become?
get there.
Yeah. Look, if you stopped asking questions about what's going on, we would have gotten there faster.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You want her to enjoy her time here, do you not?
Yeah. So now Van Dyer learned all of this and went, huh, that seems cool. Correct. And then decided to visit them instead, taking 100,000 people with him. And as he walked the very long trek to his temple, their temple, his stormtroopers would rush ahead and force everyone to line the streets. This included babies, by the way. If they refused, they were shot. They were supplied with flowers
Did that
to shower
motherfucker just
Van
say
Dyer
goo goo gaga to me?
and gifts to present him, crying at seeing him, which was very easy to do because they had a gun pointed to the back of their head. And at some point, the fear would take over. All of this was recorded for propaganda purposes and spread throughout the Imperium.
We've all been there.
So he got there, and they closed the fucking door on him, refusing him entry, and a young member stated that the Daughters of the Emperor don't recognize his authority, which everyone had expected Van Dyer to fly off the handle, reasonable expectation, but he didn't. He expected this to happen. A surprisingly lucid thought from Van Dyer, but he had a plan.
Was it a nuke?
Show them something that proved he had the Emperor's favor. I would have made him do it outside, but sure, whatever. They let him in. With a small amount of bodyguards, took him to the main hall. He knelt on the ground, asked for the Emperor's protection, clutching the Ecclesiarch's Rosarius. He then ordered one of his soldiers to shoot him. I'm just going to read the next part of this from the Codex. The officer refused at first, begging with Van Dyer not to endanger himself. Van Dyer's response is quoted as, "There is no danger. I have the Emperor's protection. Do you doubt that?" The officer had no answer to such a question, loaded as it was with subtle malice and the threat of punishment. He duly raised his pistol, aimed at the Ecclesiarch's chest, and pulled the trigger. As the bolt of energy struck Van Dyer, there was an explosion of light, blinding all those who stood at the hall. As they recovered their senses, they saw Van Dyer standing, totally unharmed, in the center of the chamber, leaning on his bone walking cane. Almost as one, the guardsmen and Daughters of the Emperor fell to their knees in worship. As he later boasted to his scribes, Van Dyer had gambled that the isolated Daughters of the Emperor would have never heard of a Rosarius or the conversion field generator it contained. So it was a con. They all swore loyalty to him. He made the order the bodyguards of the Ecclesiarch and put them on Terra, and renamed them to the Brides of the Emperor, because it's cringe like that.
Ew.
And he did exactly what you'd expect them to do.
Ew.
He made them his own personal army, but also servants and, quote, companions.
Ew.
Tasting his food, nursing him when he's sick, and entertaining him, not explicitly stated as being sexual, but definitely the implication. The exact quote is other more exotic skills, but also Goj basically considered himself to be the Emperor. The renaming them from the Daughters to Brides very much carries the implication. But also like singing and dancing and whatnot. As I said, this guy is a creep. He's a real Dennis. Also, I had to Google to see if there was an explicit confirmation elsewhere. The amount of responses I found of people just asking if the sisters are celibate, guys, fucking chill.
I mean, are they though?
Good news, Mom, they're not.
They used to be.
Help!
What? Did you say help?
Yes.
Are you okay?
No, I wasn't expecting to be quoted for that. It just really took me off guard. Continue.
Okay.
Oh, I got that on the wrong way. Oh, fuck me.
They even, at one point, locked themselves in a meeting room with all the cardinals after they attempted to assassinate Goj, and then left an hour later carrying the heads of every cardinal.
Based or something.
Yeah, we're waiting for a Mon quote. There it was. So, over the 70 years since Vandai became ecclesiarch, he spent all of his resources on everywhere but Terra, building vast cathedral networks and mass graves from all the slaughters. But the palace on Terra just slowly decayed over time, becoming a dark and decrepit place with single candles lighting an enormous room. Entire sections collapsed and sealed off. Light could barely reach the insides during the day, and when rain came to wash the windows clean and allow light into the place, Goj would return to his room for days, sitting in complete silence. Quote, "The High Lord fell into long nightmare-ridden sleeps, crying out in hysterical screams. His ancient body was pumped full of drugs and elixirs to keep the inevitable disease and depredations of age at bay. When he wasn't going off the deep end, he would occasionally just mutter about the light, and his fear of the light grew every day. This is what we call in the biz a metaphor." Also, we never really talked about him. Corgi almost said Mon, but everyone high class enough in 40k can live a really long time. Not forever, it will catch up to you eventually. But you can extend it to an extreme degree, especially if you're an AdMech. Call is 10,000 years old, but he's also not really Call at this point. Just normal people can probably get a few hundred years in if they have the resources.
Tracks.
This fear of the light would come back to bite him in a metaphorical sense. So in the early days post-heresy, there were multiple schools of thought, one of which was called the Confederation of Light, originating from Dimamar. They believed that because the Emperor sacrificed his life, they should all make sacrifices, vows of poverty and humble living, etc. and so forth. Franciscan shit. The Imperial cult didn't like this, because it meant they had to live in poverty instead of just the citizens. So they tried to convert them, didn't work, so then they declared the First War of Faith, branded them heretics, and functionally wiped them out. Now, flash forward, and Dimamar has branded Vandai a traitor and brought back the Confederation of Light. All of this led by one man, Sebastian Thor.
Sebastian Shaw.
Vandai.
Sebastian Shaw, like the Black King?
No, Thor, like the god.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Vandai, on finding this out, had an outburst of rage, and then just completely mentally retreated, often just staring into the void and doing nothing, same, all while surrounded by the brides of the Emperor.
So basically what I do.
The other High Lord...
So basically what I do all the time, just fucking zone out around people.
No. The other High Lords of Terror is what Mon's doing right now.
Heavily dissociating?
Yes.
Dick.
The other High Lords of Terror debated on what to do for months, and by 3 months in, 80 systems had joined the Confederation of Light, and the only thing that stopped the rest of the northern region of the galaxy was the military in the area. So, they, accepting something needed to be done, they sent the Fraterus Templars to burn Dimamar to the ground and exterminatus the planet. So they set off from Klax, and then Klax got eaten by a warp storm. Here's a quote. This is the quote you want to pay attention to, because this is what this came up earlier.
Okay.
The last astropathic transmission reported white arcs of energy tearing apart the hulls of the ships. The power of the storm literally twisting men and machines apart, turning soldiers inside out and disintegrating everything. The Klax system has been cut off ever since by the swirling tempests, and it is claimed that those who pass by can still hear the screams of the dying and feel the panicked last thoughts of the astropaths echoing through the whole region.
Jesus
The screams of the
Christ.
dead!
I can't believe that actually came up.
They call this place the Storm of the Emperor's Wrath. So now, all of Segmentum Obscurus, the northern region, declared open rebellion. This is a picture for more Corgi, but you can look at it, Mon, if you want. You won't understand, but... So the two important places are the top and the middle, the Segmentum Obscurus and Segmentum Solar.
What the fuck it is?
That's a picture of the galaxy and how it's, like, structured. So a lot of what happens is Segmentum Solar. If it happens on Earth, it's in a lot of what happens to this is Segmentum Obscurus. If it happens on Earth, it's Segmentum Solar. So yeah, all of Segmentum Solar, functionally, declared open rebellion. Their most loyal army was gone. What the fuck were they going to do? Not only was it gone, it got eaten by what they believed was the Emperor's wrath. Remember when I said Vandai claimed to have the mandate of heaven? This is what we call losing the mandate of heaven. And Through all of this chaos, one name kept showing up: Sebastian Thor. The High Lords kept trying to figure out who this guy was, if he was sent by Chaos, a demon or alien or something. Turns out this guy is in fact just a guy, like a normal introverted guy who did his worship in peace, and then one day, allegedly, had a vision of the Emperor, so then he went to the pulpit mid-worship, threw the priest off, and went on a rant about the ecclesiarchy. And he did well. He was a very good speaker. So everyone present went off to tell everyone about this guy and his sermons, and they all came to see this guy and kept leaving going, shit, man, I think he's right. Then a few members of the underground Confederation of Light that still existed despite being wiped off the map met up with him and went, man, this is what we've been talking about for fucking centuries. Not even centuries, thousands of years. So the next speech, he declared that he was joining their sect. So then he was brought to the commander of the military on Dimmermar, explained what he had seen, and that he just wanted to kill Vandire. So the governor swore loyalty to Thor, gave him control over their military, which Thor asked for, and now, over the years, his followers grew to a very small amount by GW's standards of 5 million, but GW is bad with numbers. And this is said like it's a lot. Some of the followers were even surviving Frataris Templars. You know, the people who got eaten by the Warp Storm and were sent specifically to kill them.
Bro, I'm so
It's worth
fucking
noting.
lost.
Yeah, don't worry. You're fine. The women will come back soon.
God bless. I need something to keep me paying attention.
And we are effortlessly and flawlessly back without any interruptions, minus Mon. Mon's not here, not because she decided to leave, but because it's the following day, because someone decided to fall asleep in the middle of the recording. So
Look, man,
enjoy that in end of video content.
in my defense, and this is a podcast, I usually fall asleep to podcasts
In
anyway.
your non-defense, you had a fucking job and you went, what if I slept during it? And this is also why Corgi wasn't very talkative that much yesterday, because she was busy trying not to sleep and then sleeping.
Yeah, that is a super my bad problem.
Yeah. And Mom wasn't available the following day.
I don't
Anyway.
even know when I fell asleep. I was just like, oh, I like listening to my friends. My friends.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was a really good run of me talking and not, like, no one was interrupting me. But I'm like, okay, but, like, there has to be more than just me talking. So I threw it to Corgi, and then there was zero response. And I'm like, cool. Again, this will be an end of video content. I will keep us learning that fucking Corgi was asleep and yelling at her.
He came to my room.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's worth noting the context does mention just how weird a lot of this is. They keep mentioning his voice had power and people just listened.
Wait, whose voice?
He got Thor's.
Oh, Thor, right.
Maybe you know this if you didn't fucking sleep through me talking. He got everything. He got everything he wanted without having to push for it. He'd ask and he'd get it. It's presented as he was just a really good speaker, but also there might be something going on deeper down. Like whenever he'd travel, zero problems in the war. Everything was fucked everywhere all the time, but if he was traveling, calm as could be.
So basically, just like Kilgrave, whereas like, that's such a charismatic guy. I sure hope he doesn't have any weird mutations that allow him to do really horrible things.
Well, Thor didn't, but also like if there was something, it was the Emperor helping him. It really gives the vibe of he might be an agent of something if he wasn't making all the right decisions and very much a one-issue political party. His goal is to get rid of Vandire, and that's all. Nothing else. So maybe he just straight up did receive visions from the Emperor and his blessing. Probably not, but maybe.
So he's just like, I don't want to, what is it? I don't want to say like an apostle, but he's just basically like, okay, he's either...
Prophet.
He's either...
Prophet is the word you're looking for. Yeah.
He's either really convincing or the Emperor actually chose him, in which case he's even more convincing. There's no losing.
So, as time went on and news of Thor got spread further and further and context was lost, Thor just went from being just a guy to a godlike being in the eyes of many of his followers. And because their military was gone, more and more places just started turning on the Ministerium and joining the Confederation in Light as slowly, planet by planet, he moved to Terra.
Not Terra as in, Terra as in Earth.
Yes. And they were in terror as in, because they're coming for us. Thank you. So now enter the elephant in the room.
I
The
have a name.
AdMech and Space Marine.
I said I have a name.
Oh, yeah. The AdMech and Space Marines were pretty upfront from the beginning of their disdain for the ecclesiarchy. But during the Age of Apostasy, they really didn't do anything. Everything was warp storms, so they just locked the fuck down and kept their planets in check. They were unbothered by the Reign of Blood and Van Dyer's insanity. He probably knew better than to push them, and they couldn't risk the warp storms to do anything about them. Then, with the rise of Thor, a large amount of Space Marine chapters in Segmentum Solar, where Terra is, and its nearby surroundings quickly backed Thor. The AdMech, on the other hand, worth noting the fabricated general of the AdMech is a High Lord of Terra, issued a summon to the other High Lords to fix their fucking shit, declare Van Dyer a traitor, and execute him.
Did it work?
Not exactly. So we've never really talked about the AdMech before, Corgi. They make all of the Imperium shit.
I'm aware of that.
Yes, but they are a kind of autonomous religious cult that functions within the Imperium. The Imperium doesn't really like them because they don't follow the Imperial cult, but the Machine cult. And Big E, when he was on the Atheist grind set, I'm also explaining this for other people, also didn't like the fact that they were the Machine cult, even though he kind of low-key created them. But the Imperium does need them to exist, as in, the Imperium exists. Without them, everything would fall apart. So all of this is tolerated. Reluctantly, but tolerated. Point being...
It's like that guy you're not really that cool with, but he gives you stuff and you're like, I mean, I was going to say he's like your plug, but you wouldn't understand. Because you are on the straight and...
Sure. Point being, losing the favor of the AdMech is probably the worst thing you could do. If nothing else, this specifically fucked Van Dyer.
Okay,
the Space Marines...
To be fair, the one person you never want to piss off is IT. They know too much.
Yeah. There's literally the people who make all of your things function and you just piss them off and they've turned on you. Oh, buddy. Your stuff's gonna stop working.
Why is my computer so slow and also plays a small pirate saying hunch hunch every time I boot it? Maybe I shouldn't have pushed over that old robot-looking guy. Yeah, fuck him, he was in the way.
The Space Marines turning on you is bad, but losing the AdMech, that's the moment you lost.
Yeah, because they provide, like, spaceships and weapons. Well,
yeah. Like, you could, in theory, probably take all of the Space Marines. Like, you could probably do that. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a really hard fight. But all of the resources of the Imperium could probably take all of the Space Marines. They're not going to have a good time, and it's going to fuck with morale something fierce. But they could probably do it. That being said, the AdMech and losing the AdMech, none of their stuff's going to work. They lose something, congratulations, you've lost the thing now.
Yeah. I don't even understand why anyone would go against them, simply because of the fact that it's pissing off your grocer. Where are you going to get your food now? You're going to make it yourself? Fuck no. You're going to try and find a new grocer and then realize all the other grocers are shit. And you're like, well, the creepy cultists had a point. Yeah. I don't like them.
And before someone says the Imperium almost lost during the Horus Heresy and that was like half the Space Marines, that was chaos-powered Space Marines who had demigods on their side, and also that was when their numbers were whatever the fuck we want rather than 1,000 per chapter.
It was vibe-based instead of reality-based.
Yeah, the reason that it's now 1,000 per chapter was, hey, maybe making 100,000 super soldiers might have been a bad call. Maybe that was a really difficult thing to fight. It doesn't help that everyone has to travel through the galaxy to get to Terra. The AdMech are from Mars. They don't have to travel. They're already on your doorstep.
Just like Mormons.
Yeah. So this happened to Van Dyer, and he went, don't worry, I can smooth this all over. I'll just disband the High Lords of Terra. Bad idea. Even Gilliman couldn't do that. And ordered his armies to attack the Space Marines and AdMech.
Was that a bad idea?
To which, the resounding response was, what? Fuck off. And they were subsequently, like, the people who went, nah, were subsequently killed in response to refusing to be killed. Like, by the time Vandire got around to finding commanders who would do something so stupid, the Fabricator General had just gone, all right, we're done here, so be it, and sent legions of Skitarii to Earth, joined by Imperial Fists, Firehawks, neat, Soul Drinkers, and the Black Templars.
Soul Drinkers?
Oh no. Yeah.
I need to know more about them.
Okay, so I haven't written down to do an episode on them. They have a whole book series. They're complicated. They have a really fucky long, weird history, and they were renegade for a bit, and then they got wiped out and brought back.
Classic.
But so Space Marines can eat people.
Can eat
like
people or beat people?
Eat people.
Okay, that makes more sense.
They have an organ where if they eat someone, they gain that person's memories, so that they can basically eat.
Is that
an
the same
enemy
one that's in all of the Marines? The whatever.
Yes,
one?
all of them have it,
Right.
but sometimes it bugs the fuck out and gets weird. I don't remember specifically about the Soul Drinkers what it does to them, but theirs is overactive, and I think they get more memories than they're supposed to have, and it's more difficult to pass through the memories.
So it's sort of similar to Blood Rage.
Yeah, so that same organ is why the Blood Angels drink blood. Theirs has it's overactive, and their body starts to decay if they don't drink blood. You should be able to just function normally with this organ and not have a problem. But the Blood Angels have a mutation that they need to drink blood, otherwise their body starts to decay. And if they drink blood, then their body regenerates. That's why they're vampires, is because of this organ glitching the fuck out. It's like why all the salamanders are black.
Excuse me?
Is because... So all of the salamanders are black, not like ethnically black, but like their skin is pitch black.
Oh.
And their eyes are all red, and it's because Space Marines have an organ that changes the melanin in their skin as need be to protect against radiation. And there is something in the mutation of the salamanders that when they land on their home planet, it glitches that organ out and just cranks it up to max. And permanently cranks it up to max. So you will have salamanders of every skin color, whatever. The moment they step foot on their planet, they instantly turn black, and now they're just black now.
Hold on. I just think of the meme where it's like, POV, you took melanin instead of melatonin before bed.
But yeah, like Vulcan, I think, is a white man. Like, he's often like fan cast or portrayed by black actors or whatever. But I'm pretty sure he's a white man, canonically. Like, his skin color is pitch black because of the reaction of his organ to the planet. And then that got passed down to all of his sons.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of a salamander in his armor except for his head, and he's just got like one of those shitty Hawaiian novelty shirts on, and he's like, oh boy, I can't wait to go visit this planet. My friends told me it was amazing. And then he comes back and he's like, I got a little bit sunburnt, I think.
Even though the palace was a fucking mess, the central complex, fucking impregnable. The 10,000 brides of the Emperor managed to hold back the Skitarii and Space Marines for months. Which, man, even the fists couldn't get past their defenses. This is why Perturabo was better. Timeline, though, does seem questionable. 10,000 regular soldiers held out for months against most likely a few hundred Space Marines and Skitarii, both things that don't need to eat, sleep, or drink.
Oh, they've made worse decisions.
Yeah. Makes more sense if the brides had power armor by that point. There's a child screaming outside the window, so it'll be interesting to see if that gets picked up in the recording. So they were struggling with that, but Corgi, what were the custodians doing during this?
Cleaning?
And by this I mean the entire Reign of Blood.
Cleaning
You know
up
what
all
the
that
answer
blood?
is, Corgi? No. The answer is fuck and all.
Come on, they couldn't even... What custodians don't clean?
Yeah, they were just chilling in the Imperial Palace, looking at everything falling apart and going, man, shit's wild. And then going back to stare at a chair for 24 hours straight for like 70 fucking years. Drop the ball there, guys. It wasn't until they got news that the Admech and Astartes were invading Earth and laying siege to the ecclesiarchal palace, did they stop and go, wait, what the fuck is going on? It's happening again. So they met with the leaders of the Space Marines and learned what had been happening for the past 70 years, told the Space Marines to keep up the good work, and they'll do what they could. Now, I feel like what they could do was send like 5 guys and just end it all in one day, but go off, I guess. Sure, we may be almost 3-meter tall super soldiers handcrafted by the Emperor, designed in part to kill a Primarch, with access to the best equipment, and we number 10,000. But those are some really thick walls, and there are 10,000 women on the other side with guns, so we're kind of limited in our capacity to help.
I mean, that just makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
It's not the walls that's the problem, it's the warning that there are women on the other side, and they're like,
yeah.
I'm gonna sit this one out.
Yeah, they did do that, but it's also like, they didn't fight. They just kind of like got through. So they have tunnels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, then they use that tunnel to walk under everything and just get into the heart of the ecclesiarchal palace.
Just like that?
So instead of like,
Just like that?
Yeah, they're just like, oh, you've been spending months trying to get into this place?
Guys, there's a door.
Oh, we could do something about this. We'll figure out what we can do. And then someone, hey, we could just take the tunnel. The tunnel into the ecclesiarchal palace, into the audience chamber? Yeah, we can just take that. Yeah, I think that'll work. So they did that. Just showed up in the middle of the ecclesiarchal palace, right into a fuck ton of brides. They then called for a timeout. The leader of the Custodes put down his weapons and spent an hour trying to explain to them that they've backed the wrong side in this to no avail. Look, if I was a devout monk who dedicated my life to the worship of the Emperor, and an almost 3-meter tall super soldier handcrafted by the Emperor who functions as his personal bodyguard told me, hey, this guy's fucked, this isn't the Emperor's will, I'd probably go, man, this guy might have a point. But I probably would have made that connection when the crazy old guy asked me to start killing the Emperor's angel. But go off, I guess.
I mean, if a giant 3-foot-tall man comes up to me, I don't think I'm going to be listening to him, especially if he's covered in blood and built like a brick shithouse.
He's not covered in blood, because they went through the tunnel.
Yeah, and the tunnel
They
didn't have any
didn't fight
blood
that
in
way.
it.
They just walked through a tunnel and went, hey guys,
What a boring tunnel.
we have something to tell you. It's a surprise. Bad things are happening. So the Centurion leading the Custodes went, fuck it, nuclear option, only final choice I have available here. I'm going to leave all my guys here. You give me your leader and 5 bodyguards for her, and we're going to go talk to the Emperor about this. So he led
That's just...
Alicia.
That's the
What?
equivalent of someone being like, yeah, no, this guy, this false shepherd, I've been trusting him. And they're like, well, if you come with me, we're going to go meet God, and I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Fucking Warhammer is so wild, man.
So he led Alicia Dominica. She'll be important in the next episode too, so remember her. And the other 5 sisters, they'll also be important, but I'm not going to name them here. They'll come up when they come up next episode.
What makes Alicia so special?
Hmm?
What makes Alicia so special that she doesn't have to be, like, that she gets named before her sisters?
Because she was the leader here, and then it was named, and the Codex never named the other ones, and then I was looking at other stuff, and it was just like, oh, these 5 women are also named, and they also did a lot of shit after the fact. And it was like, oh, obviously not important in the source that I was using, but they're important later. They'll be important in the next episode.
Yeah, fair point then.
Yeah. So he took the 6 sisters, or not sisters, the 6 brides, daughters, whatever, to the entryway to the Golden Throne and had to take a beat to really explain what was about to happen. Look, you're about to see something.
But this fucking corpse, this thing that looks like it's been dehydrated for millennia, that's God. Yeah. And he's also listening.
Well, they knew that. They knew that because there's the image of the Emperor, and then there's the thing. We'll get to that, I think. Maybe.
They see the equivalent of the chocolate lady from SpongeBob, and someone just says, that's our almighty, that is the Emperor himself. I think I would lose my mind.
Well, maybe I didn't talk about it. There was a post on Reddit the other day of, like, an interview with the guy who drew the classic Warhammer Emperor artwork. That one. That's being sent to you now.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, how that is not real, that's
Just basically
in
like
canon
tapestry art?
artwork propaganda. This is what the emperor looks like. He's an emperor on the golden throne, and the throne isn't like actually a throne. It's not an actual chair, and like the whole point is this play, like, so many pilgrims come and spend like generations to try and see the emperor on the golden throne, and they let people in to see it, but
Then it's just fucking
that's
Kyle.
not. Yeah, but like that, it's fake. It's obviously fake. They're not gonna let random people come in and see the emperor. So like this is the artwork of more like canonical
Ugh.
the golden throne.
Yeah, no, I wish I was dead too.
Yeah, one of the artworks, or not, one of the things I was reading said, I think it was a Sister of Silence looking at the emperor on the golden throne. So they didn't see any of his fake appearance that he puts on, and it's just a normal guy, his mouth twisted in an almost scream, like a soundless scream. He's clearly not having a good time.
Why not? He's the emperor of mankind. So what if he's
Yeah.
being used as a fucking lighthouse battery?
Yeah, and he's also just gone insane over the years. Like, even this, we'll get to it. When he talks to them, he doesn't say anything, or we don't see what he says. And a lot of the other times in the future, we don't actually see what the Emperor says, but we hear what the Emperor says when he talks to Gilliman, and it's not coherent. it's the words of a crazy man. It's just a guy sort of rambling. And
you don't want to go off of
contradict-
I-35 because there's this raccoon, and this raccoon is really mean, and he always sells squirrels stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't want to trust him. And also, by the way, stay away from the bleeding tree, because if you go near the bleeding tree is going to kill you. And it's like, what the fuck are you on
yeah.
about?
Well, he calls, I think, Gilliman his dutiful son, and something like that. But then he immediately then just says a useless tool or something like that. It's he contradicts himself back and forth. He's like, and Gilliman's like, I don't think there's he's like, I don't think there's much humanity left in the Emperor. I think all that's been burned away, going mad, stuck in a chair for this amount of years.
Or what if, and hear me out, they're both the emperor, but because the emperor is stuck in the warp, it's aspects of him from the future. Like, for example, he's like,
No,
I love
you're
Sigma.
just talking about-
Sigma's a good kid,
No.
and then you just hear him say,
You're just talking about the Star Child.
oh god, I forget
That-
about the Star
that-
Child shit, man.
Yeah. There already are aspects of the Emperor, and one of them is the Star Child.
Isn't that a cult, by the way?
No, so there's one of the Gene Stealer cults has a name that's very similar to
No,
this.
I
think
mean
it's the-
IRL.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe.
If you're a Star Child,
But anyway.
let us know.
Yeah, anyway. So the fucking Custodes leader, right, went, look, you're about to see something fucked down here that only us and the Primarchs have seen. Also, if you speak, you die.
Man, that
Yeah,
guy's
and
ugly as
Yeah, that's it. He's, the room you visit is fake. He's actually just a little guy kept in a secret room at the bottom of the temple that no one gets to visit.
He's just a little leprechaun, and they're like, give us your pot of gold, give us your pot of gold.
Why? I mean, again, he's an Anatolian, so he's from 6000 BCE, so he's probably not a tall man. Like,
No.
he's
Is that why
he's
we call him
probably,
Big E? To be reductive?
he's probably in like the 5 foot, like low 5 foot ranges. You know, people got taller as time went on.
God, the ultimate catfish. But it's like religious.
Yeah.
Our all-powerful, my god, he's just this little guy called Kevin. And sometimes we feed him Cheez-Its, and he's happy.
His name's Neoth, by the way.
Neoth.
Might not be his real name. Yeah, might not be his like real name, but it's the first name we're ever introduced to before he was the Emperor. Before he was any like fictional, or not fictional, historical figure like Alexander or anything like that. His name was Neoth. Ha. Right. So they went into the room, then they left the room. Very angry people.
You promised us a big emperor. You guys are 3 feet. This guy
Yeah.
is literally 3 foot. Like, baby, 3 meter.
Also,
3 foot.
3 meter. Yeah.
3 meter.
3
3
feet.
foot.
Custodes is fucking hilarious. You get
It's that image of
opening the door. These are the Emperor's handcrafted super soldiers, and a bunch of guys the size of toddlers come sprinting out. Fucking okay.
No, it's the Simpsons bit where Homer like built a play place or something, or was it like a barbecue? Anyway, and he's like, "Why doesn't mine look like that?" And it's just 3 meter, 3 foot, 3 meter.
I think if you're less than 4 feet tall, you're legally a dwarf.
Oh my god. Would dwarf Space Marines be accepted into either Space Marine or dwarf territory? Would they be like ambassadors, or would both sides just be like, ugh, look at that abomination?
Well, because it depends. So there's the squats. Well, yeah, they wouldn't have dwarf Space Marines. They would get culled. But the squats would be fine because the squats are like regular humans that are like, oh, we're dwarves. But then the Votan are also regular humans who are dwarves, but they're very, very secretive. They're very much like, we can't let the humans learn about the Votan because the Votan are actually the kin. So the dwarves and the men of iron are called kin. And then the Votan is an STC system that runs their entire shit, which the Imperial would absolutely fucking wreck their shit for.
Sorry, for some reason, I'm just imagining like a, like one of these things where, oh fuck, what? No, hang on, I'm forgetting it. Shit.
Good talk.
No, fuck.
So they left the room, very, very angry people. And Alicia's hair was turned to white, and she got a sweet-ass goblet as a souvenir. I said souvenir. Souvenir. Yeah. What went on in that room?
Carrying the arm with one of those, like, CERN shirts. Like, I went to visit Big E, and all I got was this fucking tiny goblin.
I said goblet, but, you know.
Oh, I heard goblin.
Where the fuck?
Hey man, I wasn't gonna question it.
Where the fuck do you think she... I went to the throne room and then there's the only goblin in existence in this setting. And he went, "Rah!" And I went, "You're mine now." And now...
I've always wanted to have one of these. Picks it up, dresses it like a little baby, and then just walks off. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Like, do you think if Space Marines ever did, like, sting operations or, like, you know, being, like, stealthy in disguise, you just have 2 giant Space Marines pushing a pram. And you're like, oh, look at the baby. Fucking tiny Space Marine.
That's just what the Alpha Legion does.
That's what the me is every day.
So, they wordlessly walked all the way back to where they came from. Which the distance was really big. The way it seems is it might have taken them, like, days to walk from the Ecclesiastical Palace
to
seething. The Emperor's Palace, all the way through the Emperor's Palace, and then all the way back. It's not really established in the book that that's how long that it took. But then when I was looking at the size, and the Imperial Palace is the Himalayas. It's just the Himalayas. So it's like, that's a really fucking long walk these guys went on. And I don't think the setting really considered how long the travel time between these two places were. That they probably should have been doing more than walking. They probably should have had, like, what, you know, in movies and stuff, and probably real life, where they have the massive underground bunkers and they're enormous, and so people ride the golf caddies. They probably should have had that. It should have just been Excelsior riding a golf caddy with 5 sisters in the back, or six. One sister beside him, and then 5 sisters in the back, just awkwardly, silently driving there. And then they're just being like, how long till we get there? And he's just like, look, like 6 more hours.
We'll get there when we get there. Don't make me turn
Should we had a faster vehicle? Probably.
Don't make me turn the servitor around. And the servitor's just...
It's gonna fucking... Yeah. Anyway, that's artwork to draw. Just a Custodes on a fucking golf caddy.
And Alicia beside him, just like bouncing the goblin on her lap, like crying.
Again, not a goblin.
I don't care. It's a goblin now.
Okay. So
the goblin is like the Emperor's best friend way back in the day. And she just fucking kidnaps him.
Malcador didn't actually die when he sat on the chair. He got turned into a little goblin. He became the art goblin. He's the guy that does all the art for the Imperium. They lock him in the throne room and then he just draws. No one knows he exists.
Hang on, that sounds familiar.
Alicia explained to the rest of the brides the corruption of the ecclesiarchy, that Vandir was a traitor and had perverted their order. So they cast off their name and returned to the daughters of the Emperor. So while this was happening, Vandir, looking at a map, like that was it. He was just looking at a map. All this was going on.
I was waiting for
looking
you
at
to
a map.
continue. I honestly was like, did you ever smoke?
No, the days have gone by.
That must be
The
a really
daughters,
confusing map.
nothing's been happening, and Vandir is just staring at a map. So he then looked up to see the surviving 4,000 daughters were slowly surrounding him, and that all the constant gunfire had stopped. So, not being able to read the room, Vandir started issuing orders to fleets to go after Thor.
Who wants some snuggle time with Big Daddy? Guys, girls, what are you doing?
So, Alicia approached Vandir and said, and I quote because they were real specific with it, it's even on her gravestone.
Oh, she's dead. Spoilers.
Yeah, this is 36,000. The setting's in 41k.
Yeah, and didn't you yesterday say some people can just keep living?
For like 500 years.
Well,
This is 5,000 years later.
the only difference is a 0. Stop being so judgy.
And that's also for rich people who want to fill themselves with drugs. Regular people, like,
What, you think a
sisters
sister
are just
wouldn't?
going to be like, meh. Yeah,
She
'cause
totally
it
would.
defeats the point. So, she is quoted as saying, "You have committed the ultimate heresy. Not only have you turned your back on the Emperor and stepped from his light, you have profaned his name and almost destroyed everything he has striven to build. You have perverted and twisted the path he has laid for mankind to tread, as your own decrees have stated. There can be no mercy for such a crime, no pity for such a criminal. I renounce your lordship. You walk in the darkness and cannot be allowed to live. Your sentence has been long overdue, and now it is time for you to die." To which Vandir responded quite simply, and probably my dying words, "I don't have time to die. I'm too busy."
Yeah, that is so human.
Yeah. And then she slashed down, decapitating Vandir and destroying his Rosarius.
But did he live, though?
No.
So he lied again. A bit.
And that was the end of the Reign of the Blood. The Reign of the Blood? The Reign of Blood. Not the Age of Apostasy, though. That shit kept going for like hundreds of years. Because while Sebastian Thor, making his way to Earth, had made the areas he passed through by more stable and seemingly helped with the warp storm of it all, there was no leadership. The High Lords and the Ecclesiarch were gone, so they had no government like the Netherlands.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's
the
explain
Space
why he was
Marines.
Dutch.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't Dutch because it wasn't Van Space Dire. Van Dire, one word. So the Space Marines and the Fabricated General of the AdMech set about restoring the High Lords of Terror. And good news! Vandir recorded everything he said and did. So they knew every person who blindly followed him and supported him, and every person who refused orders or fought back in some way. And while they weren't necessarily going to go after those who backed Vandir, it was strongly encouraged that organizations would self-police and cull their own ranks of Vandir loyalists.
But don't worry, that list will disappear.
Yeah, I don't think it did. Yeah. Still, they had the issue of, we need a new Ecclesiarch. But there was an obvious candidate. Enter Thor. Or rather, don't. He was still dicking around in Segmentum Obscurus. And they asked him to come to Terra. He said no. So they sent a ship to pick him up. He said no. Because he still had shit to do. So the High Lords declared him a traitor for ignoring Imperial orders and for sedition, and demanded he come to Terra to stand trial. Which, look, if it works, it works.
Did it work, though?
Yes, he was promptly bloodlessly arrested and brought to Terra. The courthouse became a holy site of pilgrimage to show support to Thor, but also like years after the court case ended, people started leaving to go on pilgrimage to show support for Thor. Which, like, spoiler alert, he won. You don't need to do that, but go off, I guess.
That just
So-
sums up most of Warhammer, to be honest.
Yeah. So the court case happened, and some High Lords really wanted to punish Thor for their bruised ego. Because how dare someone refuse their request? This will also come up in the Sisters. High Lords getting pissy because someone ignores them because they're too busy doing their fucking job.
Can't relate.
Yeah. But all the evidence pointed to him being innocent. Like, he wasn't. He did in fact tell the High Lords to fuck off. But the trumped up charges of sedition and ordering his followers to violence, they have a lot of evidence that he asked them not to be violent and condemned any violence in his name. And he didn't fight against the Imperium because a lot of the soldiers sent to kill him, changed sides and followed him.
God, why do they have so much courage?
Yeah. So 2 months of this went on, and a surprisingly short court case. You'd think for Warhammer it would be like, and it dragged on for 4 years, because that's stupid long. They spent 3 days trying to figure out what to do. The Captain General of the Custodes, a guy called Excelsior, and also a High Lord, read out the verdict. Thor was clearly innocent of all charges, and had been proven innocent of all crimes. And they needed an ecclesiarch. Thor had the backing of the people, and the blessing of the Emperor, and was a good man. So, he was appointed ecclesiarch. Don't you love it when you get charged with serious crimes and you prove your innocence so hard they appoint you the Pope?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like one of our Crusader Kings playthroughs.
Yeah. So, the crowds that gathered celebrated. The Emperor had shown his wisdom, and the Savior would lead the Imperium just as he led them through the Reign of Blood. And when Sebastian Thor spoke, his response was quite simple. Yeah, nah, I'm good, mate. So then all hell broke loose.
Will you rule us? No. Fuck off.
Nah.
Only you can save our people. Where are you going?
I've got shit to do.
Classic refusal to call, isn't it?
Yeah. So all hell broke loose. High Lords losing their shit, yelling at each other. The audience broke down. Yeah. It was probably something along the lines of, I fucking told you we should kill him, and now he's made us look like a fucking idiot. It's probably something akin to that.
Yeah, and everyone else is defending, like, but he's so nice and charming and handsome and cool, and he's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. So the audience broke down. Their guy, the guy they risked it all for, that they believe in, who would lead them to salvation, turned down the highest possible honor. At which point, Excelsior, who you have to remember is a Custodes, a guy almost 3 meters tall, built like a wall, in either glowing gold armor or dick out, one of the two. Don't know where they were at this point. He went to Thor and went, come with me for a sec, mate. Took him aside and basically said, look, you're taking the fucking job or I'll fucking kill you, cunt. No one knows exactly what he said to him, but it is believed to be, you will leave Terra as an ecclesiarch or you will not leave Terra at all.
Okay, but did that work?
So Thor came back and everyone went quiet to hear what he said. Which was, you know what? I will take the job as an ecclesiarch. It's what I want to do. A big, scary, possibly naked man didn't just threaten to shank me in an alley on my way home. I made this decision on my own.
All while said naked man is just heavily breathing behind him with his dick swinging like a goddamn silverback gorilla facing down a toddler.
Yeah, it's just I made this decision on my own. Slowly turning to his right, just seeing the guy give a thumbs up. Like, it's gonna be great, guys. We're gonna do good things.
This is such an honor. Please stop breathing me. Can someone please come get their guard?
I'm so happy. My no was a test. I was always gonna say yes.
Sweating profusely.
But he did have conditions. The High Lords would back him whenever he'd need it. He's going to make changes to the ecclesiarchy, and they just have to trust his call, which does sound like a I need backing of the High Lords a second time. And he's going to keep to his original plan of just dicking about the Imperium preaching to people. Because that's what would unite the people under the Emperor again. And you know what? He's probably right. It's that is probably a good call.
I mean, if he wants to keep being a Mormon, let him.
Yeah. So he set about making the changes to how the whole thing was run. Didn't really make any radical changes to the faith because he didn't think that was necessary. Strong disagree, but hey, that's the point of the setting. People consistently making the wrong decisions. Thor set up the Synod Ministra on Ophelia 7, which is the satellite office of the Holy Synod on Terra. They give orders and then it travels to the Ministra, and who then spread it from there, but it also operates as a backup. If something fucky goes on Terra, a High Lord or Ecclesiarch can't assume total control of the Ministorum. The amount of cardinals was increased, and the dioceses were decreased in size, so they had less power and resources, and more people to fight back any attempt to radically alter the Ministorum. Also, somewhere around this time, the Inquisition set up the Ordo Hereticus to secretly police the ecclesiarchy to prevent anything like the Reign of Blood happening again. They do other things now, but this was the original intent of them. They also hunt psychers and shit, I think.
Oh yeah, to feed them to the Emperor?
No, they're just rogue psychers. The other psychers the
The ones from Dark Tide, essentially.
they basically hunt. There's a word I'm looking for that I'm blanking. They hunt for not allowed psychers versus the psychers that are given to the emperor, which are court mandated psychers. They are psychers who are allowed to be sanctioned psychers and unsanctioned psychers. They hunt unsanctioned psychers. The psychers that are fed to the emperor are sanctioned psychers because it's like stability shit. Also, importantly for us, the High Lords passed a law, the Decree Passive. It was to ban the ecclesiarchy from having a military, quite explicitly banning them from having any men under arms. So Thor followed the law, disbanding the Fraterus Templars and all other armies and fleets belonging to the Ministorum, but he did think they might need an army of some sort, and that if they did not have any army, they'd be completely controlled by the High Lords and the Imperial Guard. So Thor read the law that forbid him from having any men under arms, before slowly turning to look at the daughters of the Emperor, before turning back to look at the law that forbids him from having any men under arms, then uttering his famous catchphrase, "I have a cunning plan." As cunning as a fox who had just been appointed Professor of Cunning at Oxford University. True quote, don't fact check me on that.
That is a choice.
So, the daughters of the Emperor were renamed the Orders Militant of the Adeptus Sororitas, aka the Sisters of Battle. The High Lords weren't happy about this, but they had no legal recourse to stop it. I, for one, would have simply passed an amendment to that law that said, all women under arms, fuckwit, but that's just me.
What about people that don't adhere to gender, though? They could just say, okay, I need you to identify as a
Then
woman.
you do another one.
It's like a PS, women are included. PPS, seriously, what the fuck?
Any military dipshits, stop finding loopholes.
The loopholes aren't there for you to exploit. The loopholes are there because we forgot to close them.
But his argument that the sisters in part existed to help police the ecclesiarchy was a compelling argument. So a lot of them went, look, okay, fine. We're annoyed about it, but fine. You make a good point.
Also, who wouldn't want to see women kicking ass?
Yeah. On that note, you say that, it's noted that the sisters are consistently really attractive, and it's kind of weird. Like, you would think for an order of soldier women, you would have a wide range of appearances. But every single time a sister shows up, they are always really attractive, and there seems to be something going on in their training where they only recruit the most attractive women.
To be fair, have they ever really been exposed to different women?
Well, like, there's women in the garden shit. Like,
oh, okay. So they're just like...
Yeah. So then the Sisters of Battle, the monks or nuns that serve the Emperor are consistently quite attractive. And it's either the people at the Schola Progenium who train them only really want to be around attractive women. So therefore, they file out anyone who they don't deem as attractive. Or there's a genuine decision of like, look, these are like a propaganda piece as well of these people who are so devout to the Emperor. We gotta make sure all of them are good looking.
It's very we want you energy.
Yeah. It's like when you're like showing off like military propaganda, right? Mm-hmm. In the real world, when you look at armies, it's always like good looking dudes, yeah, well dressed, all of this. It's not fucking Boris from Chechnya who's 16 years old and looks like he's 74. That's not who they put on the front page. So,
God, why you do this?
Boris from Chechnya, who's 16 years old and looks like he's 74?
No, just a heavy naked guy behind Sebastian.
Okay, Jesus, it's gonna be an interesting.
Yeah, tell me about it.
We get to send that to Mon and be like, hey, you missed out on this.
Yeah, you missed out on barely concealed wang.
Yeah. On that note, at some... so, technically, it wasn't canon at this time. It's a retcon now. So sometimes the Adeptus Custodes... I got pictures. So they look like... I got these pictures for Mon, but then you already know them. But like, they look like that, or they look like that.
Oh,
but
yeah,
now,
ridiculous.
Yeah, they look some of the Custodes are now canonically women, but have always been women, which means there were women serving under the Custodes during the Dick Out era.
So they just had straight up tit out.
Yeah, were there Custodes with just tits and bush out?
Tits and Bush Out is the name of my new album.
On that note, at some point around this time, the Sisters and the Order Hereticus did a thing called the Convocation of the Nephilim. I just have like the perfect example to do something. It'll come up in the next episode and I'll read it because I want to hear Mon's reaction to it as well. So, give me 3 seconds. Okay. This tied their two orders together. They are two separate orders, but they work closely together, and the sisters function as the military wing of Order Hereticus and offer whatever support they need through a branch of the Order Hereticus called the Chamber Militant. Multiple inquisitorial areas have a Chamber Militant. It's anyone, they can pull in anyone for the Chamber Militant, but different Chamber Militants, different Ordos have preferred groups that they pull in for Chamber Militant. So like Ordo Xenos really only like to pull in Death Watch.
Sorry, I'm not.
I always get the two confused. Is Death Watch the one that's the random guys that do whatever the fuck? No, yes. Because Death Company is then the we're all sanguineous guys. It's Death Company and Death Watch. I get them fucking mixed around. So yeah, Ordo Xenos really only likes to pull in Death Watch, but they could, in theory, pull in anyone that they want. Ordo Hereticus likes to pull in the Sisters.
Sorry, I'm currently writing Custode.
What?
You know, because of the female custodians.
Oh, Custodes, right. So, as an aside, I love that this was a conversation yesterday, and then I said, it'll come up later, and then you fell asleep during the middle of a recording.
My bad. It was EP.
I love when the lexiconum is just wrong. You read about the convocation of the Nephilim, and it mentions this happening between the Hereticus and the daughters, which led to the creation of the Sisters of Battle. Then you check the actual source, and the source is like, this agreement was struck between the newly reorganized Adeptus Sororitas and the newly created Ordo Hereticus. How do you get that wrong? No one's going to fact check that.
Same way you get Death
But hey,
Patrol
what's
and
the
Death
ability
Watches
to
wrong.
read?
Same way you get freaking Death Watches and Death Guard wrong.
Death Company. Death Guard's a different thing,
Well,
but
why
I
are there
forget
so many
Death Guard
death
exist.
things?
I forget that Mortarion and the Death Guard exist every day of my life. And then someone will say Mortarion, I'll be like, who the fuck is that? I know that name. And then I have to think, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's one of the Primarchs. They'll mention Death Guard, and I'm like, what are they? Oh yeah, they're the Nurgle guys. But like, Death Company and Death Watch, it's just Death something. This is reading it say, hey, this was between these two people, and then going, no, it wasn't. It was between them before this. I'm going to ignore the words that it just said. Stupid. Anyway, the rest of Thor's changes was just general housekeeping, fixing things, setting up reasonable tithes, and all of that. After becoming ecclesiarch, Thor spent 10 years on Terra, fixing everything he could, then passed off the rest of the work to the people under him, and fucked off for 80 years to do the thing he asked to do, and traveled the galaxy, preaching and bringing people back to the Imperial cult. He then returned to Terra at 112 years old, spent 6 months there, then fucking died. They made a big deal about his death, built an entire wing to hold a sarcophagus, declared a week of mourning. 70 million pilgrims showed up within the first year to see his sarcophagus. There are murals detailing his entire life and accomplishments, lining the almost 5-kilometer passage to his grave, that you just have to look at if you want to go see his dead body.
The tragedy.
Yeah. And then, at some point, the Age of Apostasy ended. Remember when I said the lexiconum is wrong? It states the Age of Apostasy ended when Vandir ended. Why did I wrote Vandir ended? When Vandir died.
Well, also true.
The book it sources, Sisters 2nd edition battle tome, explicitly states Vandir's death ended the reign of blood, but the Age of Apostasy lasted for several centuries after. Cool. Nothing
canon
really.
isn't canon. It's not like canon is canon.
Nothing really of major note happened after that time. Presumably was just the slow dying down of warp storms and reconnecting to the lost worlds that they had decided to get real weird with it. Or just kept seeing guilt in the rain. There was a planet that had a population of 14 billion and got cut off by a warp storm, and they decided to get real racist with it. And by the time they got reconnected to the wider Imperium, the population was 2.5 million. And that's it. That's the Age of Apostasy. Thanks for joining Mon. She's not here anymore. She was supposed to be here. Then something happened. But I did offer that she didn't have to be here because she only signed up for the Sisters episode. But she wanted to do... I just wrote, but she wanted to do. But she wanted to be here. Yeah, because I'm on, I tried to keep it real on point, so there isn't much end of video content. There's some just explaining like generic stuff. There'll also be an entire section of end of video content that is just us yelling at Corgi for falling asleep. So have fun for that. Thanks for watching. Do the like, share, subscribe thing if you want. I don't care. I do care actually, but I can't make you. Also hype. That helps us allegedly. Follow me at Che, that's CHE, .Ratman. That's RATMAN on Instagram. It's just the shorts we do here, but I need the followers to boost the views, to reach more, to bring more people here. It's a cyclical snake eating its own tail thing.
Ouroboros.
I finished writing this about 30 minutes till I had to leave, and I want to be back until it was a scheduled recording time. Sisters in a fortnight. Once I finish the edit of this, I'm gonna hit the ground running. I could in theory get it done ready next week, but I want to build a backlog to keep a consistent release schedule and a day. It'll take me maybe like 3 to 4 weeks to have at least one in the chamber at all times. But that's the hope. Makes life easier. Goodbye. Actually, not goodbye. Also, I want Corgi to do the same thing.
Bye, everyone.
We currently have a thing ready to go, but we're sitting on it for the moment because it's supposed to go with the Sisters episode. So hopefully she finishes the other thing before then, so then I don't have to release the Sisters one until after the Sisters one is done and not have to release that. So hurry up. You got a week and a half to finish that, Corgi. Anyway, goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. So it's worth noting that the codex does mention just how weird a lot of this is. This happened to Vandire, and he went, "Don't worry, I can smooth this all over." Corgi, are you tired? Corgi, are you alive? Mon, is Corgi alive?
You live with her. Did she fall asleep?
I'm gonna go
Go do that.
check on Corgi.
Go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? No.
Go away.
At what point did you fall asleep?
Shut up. Go away. Go to bed.
Corgi fell asleep.
Yeah, I figured. That's incredibly funny.
I'm so sorry.
We'll finish this recording tomorrow. You don't have to be for the rest of the recording, Mon.
I'm so sorry.
We'll get you in the next episode.
Oh, God.
What's the stuff?
All I remember is thinking, oh man, this talkie guy sounds like Kilgrave from Jessica Jones, and then whoop.
Okay, so you want to sleep for particularly long, but it's also how long were you drawing? It's not even that late. It's 9 o'clock. We've recorded this at like 11 p.m. before.
Yeah, and dude, I told you it was near my bedtime. Didn't get very good sleep last night, and neither did you.
Skill
for that matter.
issue. Yeah, I haven't slept and I'm still fucking going.
Yeah,
Skill
but that's
issue.
a you thing. That's not a
Skill issue.
no.
Fucking Christ. Sorry, Mon.
That was so funny.
I'm sorry.
It's so fine. That was so funny. I was like,
Born
wow,
to
Corgi
be
hasn't said
EP.
anything in a while. And
Yeah, I was
addressed
also
it
like,
a
man,
lot.
Corky's been unnaturally
And then
quiet.
When you just, like,
We're in a
tried
good
to
run.
talk, I was like,
Yeah.
she's asleep. She's so asleep.
Yeah, and then I asked Corgi a question and it was nothing. And I'm like, she's asleep. I could keep going, but then we just won't have pictures. We won't have pictures for the entire podcast because Corgi's gonna be asleep for the entire fucking recording.
No, this is when we could have cut to like Mon drawing now. Oh,
Y'all better still be recording on Audacity this.
okay.
I am.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Jesus
save it as
Christ.
fell asleep.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing as fuck. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Well. Okay.
I I won't be
record
here
tomorrow.
for tomorrow. So you're just gonna
Yeah,
have to
that's fine.
explain my sudden absence, which is
Yeah,
really funny.
Yeah, don't worry. There'll be a stop point.
Cool.
I don't know where I'll back up to,
No.
and then we'll have the end of video content that is just a section of me talking and just nothing.
Just Corgi, is she dead? Is she alive?
That's basically what I said.
Yeah. He was actually like, is she alive? And then asked me, and I'm like, you live with her. At which point he was like, alright, I'm gonna go check on her.
Okay, but first of all, I give you my full permission to, if I die during a recording, to just include that. To just cut to the next episode. Well,
If you die during a recording, congratulations, Mon. You're now the co-host of this show.
Fuck, I can't draw anymore.
Yeah, you better fucking learn.
Oh shit.
yeah, better work.
I can draw really good hairstyles on Tomodachi Life. That's honestly what I've been doing this whole time. Can I be real?
Oh,
I've been drawing this one Tomodachi's head. It's taken over an hour. It's not even like that difficult.
Who are they?
Hey, you know what I prefer that to?
What?
You know what? I prefer you listening and drawing a Tomodachi hairstyle, even if you're confused, more than falling asleep during a recording.
Sorry, because I've still been paying attention as much as I can with what I don't know.
I'm sorry.
The disrespect.
Okay. Gonna keep it 100 with you. Let's just be 100% honest. Mon was probably gonna stay up anyway playing League of Legends or Tomodachi Life. I'm sorry.
No, she was gonna stay up playing Tomodachi Life. Clearly.
I deleted like most of my residents on my island, so I've got a lot of repopulating to do.
What happens when you delete them? Do they just get like sucked into the void? Just
They just disappear and no one
Warp
talks
storm.
about them, which is really funny because like I didn't delete myself, but I deleted like everyone in my household, and now my house is just a little house lonely on the beach, and I don't have a wife anymore. But
What if you delete someone's kids?
you can. When they have kids, you can choose to send them away. And it's really funny because they just never mention them.
It feels like the Ted scene. They got him. What?
Yeah.
I liked him too.
Used to share his dungaroos. What do you mean they got him?
Fuck, I'm getting into bed. I'm sorry, guys.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Again, so funny. Can't wait to see what this looks like in the edit.
Yeah.
Just me. Yep, I'm listening.
Okay, wait.
I'm
The
listening.
important question is, are you at your desk?
Yes. She was head down on the desk, hand in arms, and I'm like, Corgi, and she was like, shut up.
I don't even know what woke me. I think it was just like walking to my room and my brain was like, alert, alert, alert. Not supposed to be asleep. Wake up.
It's from Corgi's mic. I just heard muffled noises, and for a second, I fully just thought this bitch just got up and got into bed. Did not give a fuck.
I was tempted. Oh,
Yeah, so tempted you just decided, nah, the desk is good enough.
no, because I was like, I'm just gonna rest my head for a second. And then I was
Did not come back.
I wanted to spend all of tomorrow editing, and now I can't do that. I have to record tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
I have to set up to record
Has
like
this ever
probably
happened
midday.
before?
No! And we've recorded until like 12 at night. We've recorded until 12 p.m. before.
You mean when I was still drinking?
This was 8:40 and Corgi fell asleep.
I'm a sleepy girl. Born to be EP, forced to work.
Real shit, man. Speak it.
Preach it, sister. Preach it.
If I paid you, your pay would be getting docked this week.
Fell asleep on the job.
It's even funnier that you say that because I was watching John Mulaney's latest thing. He was talking about having been to rehab.
I was thinking about that sketch the other night because I went in the junkie toilet that's near work. I don't know if this will be kept in, but it's a I've sent Mon a picture of it. I'll take a photo. It's a toilet with a black light, so you go in and it's blue as fuck. Everything is blue, but the koala thing was was down. And the moment I saw it, I just thought of the John Mulaney bit from that special of him being like, when you're an addict, you see everything at angles.
Everything in surfaces.
Why do I have no memory
Yeah.
of being sent this toilet?
I don't think, did I say you or did I say Corgi?
You
I'm pretty sure I
literally
said
said
Corgi.
me.
Okay, I might have sent it to you. I didn't send you the toilet. I probably just sent you the room. But there was new artwork on the walls, so I will send you that. They also, yeah, that one time there was a very explicit picture of a naked woman that someone had drawn on the walls. It was actually done quite well.
It was actually
Okay.
done quite well.
Yeah. Mon, react again. This is the natural lighting in this toilet. Live reaction to this.
All right, pulling it up. Huh? Yeah, I do drugs in there.
Help? Yeah. Well, the whole point is so they can see drug residue because everything's blue as fuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
but I feel
let
like
me
you just
also
see a
see-
lot more freaky shit that you didn't sign up
Really?
for, you know?
Yeah.
People
Oh,
do things and...
It's a miracle that got
Actually, wait.
all-
Where is this? Maybe I shouldn't say that.
the cum-stained toilet. Don't worry, it's not like they're running out of style.
Alright, cool. I wasn't the one who
Don't
said
worry.
it.
I haven't seen cum there, but I have seen empty syringe box right next to the sharps disposal.
Maybe they were just diabetic. Don't be.
There's a reason that I have to use the disabled toilets there because the two other toilets are locked with a code and you have to put in the code to get in. But the disabled toilets are unlocked and that's always the one that is most questionable. But one time they were cleaning the disabled toilets, so they let me in the men's toilets and it also had the blue light there.
Is it blue
Where is this that they have to
Is
be
it in
checked
the
for
city?
drugs so much?
In the city. Yeah. Not too far from the valley either.
Yeah. Alright, that does help add some context.
What, you want to visit it?
Chill. No, I'm just concerned where he's working that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like, I swear they're like 5.
5 inches deep
What?
in your mom.
Oh, got him.
See, why weren't you bringing this energy to the podcast and instead just sleeping?
Because fuck you.
Yeah, we actually could have just kept doing it at this point.
We could
I'm
have.
already in bed.
Someone's a fucking coward.
Yeah.
Are you saying you're already in bed in the sense that you've ended the recording?
Yeah, you said to end the recording.
No, I said, have you ended the recording yet?
Oh.
And then someone doesn't listen, like they don't fucking.
What are they, deaf or some shit? Freak.
Well, what are they fucking sleeping on the job?
The job that's currently volunteer work?
Yeah, this is going in your fucking performance review.
Yeah, and who's gonna read that? You? Well, I knew she was a fucking lazy shit. I'm surprised.
Is mine gonna be good?
Yours is a
Well-
gold star in comparison to mine. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get a frowny face.
On an average day, I would say no, because you're not really interacting that much, which is fine because you don't know what the fuck's going on. Completely understandable. That was sort of the idea. But comparative to someone who was actually like participating and then someone who was asleep, two very different. Someone who's kind of shit at their bed, shit at their job, is better than someone who is asleep on the job.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have been asleep on the job
It
if I
did the bed.
Mon was working, and this was the only time she was available.
I'm sorry. Maybe next time we'll get me a soda so I can have some caffeination in my stupid monkey brain.
Unrelated to the episode, Corgi and I were in the kitchen the other day having an argument. Is it clussy or clussy?
It's
Because
classy because
clussy-
classy sounds so weird.
Clussy is obviously the correct one. It's clown pussy. You don't say, oh, pussy. But then Corey's like, no, it's clussy. She's wrong. Anyway,
Classy just sounds a lot more appealing than clussy.
I had to get my wife involved, and she was like, look, I agree with you that clussy sounds weird, but no, clussy is the correct one. It's currently 2v1 on clussy. So I can add polls
Oh my god.
and tests, right, in episodes. I did it on Whose Boat Is That Boat. Check the poll currently if it's clussy or clussy. Put your vote in. Is it clussy or clussy?
We should really get actual jobs.
I have an actual job. You don't.
Yeah, and I will never have an actual job. So hey, if you need anyone to draw fairy porn...
Hey, if this fails, yeah, you'll have an actual job.
No, just draw fairy porn.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a job of sorts. Anyway.
Very high pay.
Okay. I didn't even write the fucking good morning ram.
What is up with you lately? You didn't get it last week?
I'm tired. I don't sleep. There's a degree to the Emperor that just kind of like makes me sad. Because he is, at the end of the day, just a guy. Like, he's a fucking idiot.
Well, then
who
he
constantly
shouldn't have
makes
been
the
the Messiah.
wrong decision and really just fumbles constantly and just makes constant poor decisions. But he appears as a 10-foot tall, like probably taller guy wielding a flaming sword, glowing gold armor. He's long flowing hair. Did I have a picture of the Emperor? No. Give me 5 seconds and I'll get you a picture of the
The
Emperor.
way you're describing him makes me expect you to say, and he's just so dreamy.
I mean, that's the point. He looks like a god, and that's the idea behind him, is that he makes himself look that way. He doesn't have to look that way. There's a thing called the Sisters of Silence, and they don't have souls. So they're completely immune to any warp magic, which the Emperor is full of. And they just see him as a guy, like just a normal human-sized guy. He's not 10 feet tall. He's just a normal, like...
Everyone sees Ryan Gosling as Ken, when in reality he's just Ryan Gosling as Grace. And they're just like, what the fuck?
Like, they just see him as a normal 5-foot Turkish man who looks both old and young. It was the description, basically. And then he's projecting this appearance on himself, so everyone thinks he's more regal than he is. So they do what he says, and then he just fucks up constantly, and then watches every single one of his, or half of his entire sons turn on him and betray him, and it's almost exclusively his fault. And then all of his friends, who he is known for over, 36,000 years at this point, slowly die in front of him one by one because he fucked up. And then he finally just gets killed by his own son that he has to obliterate, like literally destroy his soul. And it's just kind of sad. It's just like he's just a guy at the end of the day. And he just fucked up so consistently because he's a fucking moron. And it's just like, oh.
I don't want to victim blame, but this dude is going around looking like a fucking deity, and he's like, whoa, why are these people worshipping me? This is weird.
And that's it. It's like, when you see the deification of the Emperor, you're like, oh wow, this is a fucking, like, his physical form as a 10-foot tall guy. You're like, oh wow, he's
fucking
Kratos. A demigod moron. He's that's it. But then when they're just like, but no, at the end of the day, he is just a guy. He's just a normal human being who just, it's not his fault a bunch of shamans killed themselves and created him. That's not his fault. He was born to be something more than he was, and he was robbed of just the normal life as a shepherd, dying at the age of 30 at 6000 BCE in the hills of Anatolia. That's what his life was supposed to be, and then, too bad, you're actually the souls of like 10,000 people all merged into one dude, and you're going to live forever now.
Oh,
that sucks.
You don't want immortality? That sucks. Too fucking bad. Now get on your fancy seat and sit there.
Yeah.
Decompose like a good emperor.
Yeah. One's already so lost.
Dude.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I was going to say, to be
German
fair,
history.
you asked for this, but no, you asked for a different thing, and then I pulled a fucking rug pull and put you in a completely different episode
Can
than
I
the one you
also
asked for.
be honest with you? I don't actually remember asking.
I
I think you just mentioned it and I was like, okay.
think I said it would be funny, and then you were like, that would be hilarious. I want to do that. And then I went, which of these 2 episodes do you want to be in? The orc episode or Nuns with Guns? And you went, is that a fucking question? And then I went, that's fair. Yeah, we'll do the Nuns with Guns episode. And then you went, awesome. And then you asked, then months went by, And then you asked me like 2 weeks ago, hey, when is that episode that you're putting me in? And I went, oh, you still want to do that? And you're like, yeah, I think it'd be fun. And then I put you in a different episode.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
checks
Nuns
out.
with Guns is totally a non thing.
And also, to be fair, I can't even deny that part either about you giving me options and me going, is that a fucking question? Because, like, real.
That's a question?
Like, who do you think
Not a
I am?
statement?
I swear, like, one of the worst things I've ever said to you was, like, one of the first things I've ever said to you.
Yeah.
Which I don't
Fucking
even remember
non-guns.
saying, by the way. Shay just brought it up.
Doesn't he always?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I remember everything.
And I did not remember ever saying that to you.
Yeah.
Trust me, it gets even worse when you live with him. And you're like, I didn't say that. And he's like, actually, you said it on this specific date. And you're like, oh, fuck, I did.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not a live-in child. I'm the child away from home.
Yeah.
Take me with you.
Skill issue.
Yeah.
Using orbital batteries on Jana 10 melts... Thanks. Jana 2. Fucking... Using the orbital batteries on Jana 2 melts the... Let me fix this typo and then I will read it and I won't fumble it.